Okay, today we will see the last unit, that is sixth unit, payment constructions. See, actually we have two types of road. One is low cost and another one is high cost road. Okay. So what is the main difference between low cost road and high cost road? The first one is low cost road will have low intensity of traffic flow. Okay. Low intensity of the traffic flow. Intensity of traffic flow. Okay, whereas in high cost road the intensity of the traffic flow will be more. The next one, the low cost road will be always linking to every village roads. Okay, it will link to each village roads. Okay, or also we can call it as a rural roads, whereas high cost road it will always link with the state highways, national highways and expressways. Okay, expressway, national highway, state highway. High cost roads always linking to the express highways, national highways. These are generally constructed in rural areas, whereas high cost road is generally constructed in urban areas. Then low cost road have low maintenance. Okay, low maintenance and the cost of construction is also very low, whereas in high cost road the maintenance is high. Okay, and the cost also is very high. Low cost road is less durable, whereas the high cost road is more durable as compared to low cost road. Okay, these are some major difference between low cost road and high cost road. Whereas in low cost road the intensity of the traffic flow is very low as compared to the high cost road. These are generally constructed or connecting to the village roads. These are for the major roads. These are all generally constructed in rural areas. These for urban areas. The construction and maintenance cost is very low, whereas in high cost roads, the maintenance and the cost of construction of the road is more. Low cost road is less durable as compared to high cost road. Okay. Then road. What do you mean by road payment? So we will call about road payment. Road payment. Okay. That is, one is flexible and another one is rigid road payment. Okay, the flexible road is nothing but the bituminous road. Okay, whereas rigid road it is nothing but the cement concrete road. Okay, then what you mean by road pavement? It is a layered structure supported by subgrade soil to form a carriageway of a road. Is nothing but the road pavement. Suppose this is your hard strata. Okay, I will call this one as subgrade soil. Okay, above which we will apply n number of layers depending upon the type of road. Okay, this is subgrade, this will be base, sorry, sub base, this will be base, this will be the GSB, or it may be DLC, different types of layers, and the top one will be the wearing course or surface course. Okay, so n number of structures are constructed over the subgrade soil to form a carriageway for what? To carry a motor vehicles it may be a car, vehicle, trucks, bikes, etc., is nothing but the road pavement. A layered structure supported by subgrade soil to form a carriageway of a road is nothing but a road pavement. The next one is purpose of road pavement. Why we need the road pavement? First one, to carry wheel loads of a vehicular traffic. Okay. The first main purpose is what? To carry the loads, wheel load. Okay. Other macadam road cannot carry the heavy loads. Okay. Suppose think this is a muddy road. Okay. And there is a truck loaded with more than 40 tons, etc. If it goes, what will happen? There will be undulations formed, or sometimes the wheel will stuck into the mud, soil, etc., which means that the road is not suitable to carry a heavy loads or a light loads, etc. So the main purpose of road pavementing or road designing is that to carry a heavy loads. Okay. See, village roads we have expressway, national highway, state highway, district roads, major district road, village roads. Okay, where village road will carry lesser load as compared to national highway road. Okay, it depends upon the surveying what we do. Okay, number of vehicles, type of vehicles that are moving, so we will do all types of survey and we will go for particular designing of the systematic road. Okay, which type of road is required for the vehicles moving in that directions or in that path. So the main purpose is that to carry the wheel load. The second one is to distribute vehicular load. Okay, see, the I will show you the column structure. Okay, sorry. Suppose this is 230 by 230 column size. Okay, this is 230 by 230 size. Okay, and I have given footing of depth 300 mm. Okay, and the width of the footing is 900 mm. See, if I go for construction more than G plus 3, okay, this type the column and this type of footing means 300, sorry, 900 by 900 into 300 is not sufficient to carry the load and to distribute the load uniformly. The flow, how it is, the load will first, slab load will be distributed to beam. Okay, beam, it will distribute the load to column, column to footing, then footing to subgrade. Okay, means the last hard structure of the soil. So the load distribution will be like this. Similarly here, the vehicle load will act here. Okay, so it will be distributed in triangular form. Okay, while designing you will come to know it will be distributed in the triangular form. If I draw the cross section, so these are the n number of layers. Okay, and this is the V. Okay, at this point we have a contact. How the load will be distributed? It will be distributed in this way, in a triangular form. See, upper load will be subjected to lesser stress. See, you can see the area, it will be subjected to lesser stress as compared to the below middle one, and the last, it will be the last layer which will be subjected to more load. So how we should design the layers means that it will distribute the load very uniformly. See here what I will do, I will lay a aggregate size of 6 mm. Okay, on the bearing course it will be nearly 12 to 6 mm. GS, one second, I'm getting call. Okay. See the topmost layer, the aggregate size will be 6 mm to 12 mm. Okay. The GSP it will be from 40 mm downside aggregate. Okay. Here also it may be 60 to 40 mm. See the load will be the stress will be at the topmost layer, it will be less as compared to the bottom one. So the foundation should be strong such that the load will be distributed uniformly. So the main purpose of this purpose of road payment is that it should distribute the load. Okay. Then to have a smooth surface. Okay. See if you go for normal roads. Okay. Normal in case of waterborne macadam means where you will see the aggregates, okay, which will be laid. Okay, if you take your vehicle or a car whatever, and if you go on in this type of road, you will feel discomfort, okay, while riding. So the topmost surface of the pavement it should be uniformly and it should be smooth in case that it should have a minimum skid resistance. Okay, not that much smooth where the friction is nearly equals to 0, where the friction should be 0.35. Okay, then the fourth point is that to prevent ill effectness of weathering agencies on the subgrade soil. See due to rain, okay, the water will penetrate into the pavements, okay, into different types of layers, and it will finally reaches the subgrade. Okay, if the water reaches the subgrade, what will happen, there will be a undulations formed due to settlement of the pavement. Then that should not happen. Okay, so the main purpose here is that it should counteract the weathering agencies. Okay, so the main four purposes are: it should carry the enough wheel load, it should distribute the load uniformly, the pavement surface should be very smooth, then it should counteract the weathering agencies. Okay, these are the purposes of road payments. Then we have requirement of good payment. Okay, the first one you can call it as a good or an ideal payment. First one, it should be cheap and easy to construct. Second one, it should be suitable to all types of traffic. Suitable to all type of traffic. Next one, it should be strong and durable. Next one, it should not develop any corrugations. Okay, it should have a good visibility during night. Next one, the riding should be safe and comfort. Okay, it means that we should provide a good radius. Okay, horizontal radius. Okay, even for valley and summit curve there should be a minimum uh, driver's eye positions, okay, such that we can see the vehicle coming in the downward direction if you are going from bottom to top positions, like that. Safe and comfort, even in hill positions also, in hill roads. And the most important thing is that the maintenance should be very low. So what are the requirements of good payment? The first one is it should be cheap and easy to construct. Second one, it should suitable for all traffic roads. Third one, it is strong and durable, no corrugations, good visibility at night, safe and comfort, and low maintenance cost for the maintaining the road. Okay, any type of the road. So these are the requirements. Then we will go for Type of road. The first one is waterborne macadam road, WBM. The first one we are going for waterborne macadam road. I will show you the picture. These are types of road you have seen daily. Okay. If you once you see the picture, you will come. You will get some ideas. Okay. Picture is little bit blur. Okay. This is also same. Okay. So first we will see waterborne macadam road. Okay. See what we can define the waterborne macadam road as the road having its varying surface consisting of clean crushed aggregate mechanically or interlocked by rolling and bonding together with filler materials. I will say what are the filler materials. Filler materials and water laid on a prepared base course is called as waterborne macadam. I will repeat, the road having its varying surface consisting of clean crushed aggregates mechanically interlocked by rolling and bonded together with filler materials and water laid on a prepared base course is called as waterborne macadam. See, the materials here we require is that the first most thing is that coarse aggregates. Okay. The second one is that we need screening materials, and third one is binding material, water. Okay. Here the aggregate size will be depend upon the grading, which type of grading you are using. Either you are using grading 1, suppose if you are going for grade 1 of course aggregate, the size will be vary from 100 mm to 20 mm. Okay. If you are going for second grade of course aggregate, the size will be vary from 80 mm to 20 mm. Grade 3, it will be vary from 50 to 20. Okay. The one thing we should take care that the coarse aggregate should be durable, hard enough. It should not be flaky or elongated, and it should have a proper shape. Okay. We have seen the tests like Los Angeles aberration test, impact failure test, flakiness index test. Okay, in flakiness we have seen elongation and flakiness one. So these all should have a minimum permissible value, and it should not cross the permissible value by IRC. Okay, so the aggregates, the first one is we have the aggregates. The aggregate should be more durable, it should be hard, and it should not be flaky or too elongated. Okay, you know why it should not be flaky and elongated, and the shape should be good one. Okay, see if you take for a rounded aggregate, there will be a more voids. Okay, if you have a different types of aggregates means the aggregates will be filled by the voids will be filled by the different shapes of aggregates, so we should have some acceptable shapes. Okay, the next we have screening. Okay, what you mean by screening? The material which is filled is used to fill up the voids in the compacted layer of the coarse aggregate. See what we will do, we will prepare the base course, okay, above which we laid the aggregates. Okay, it may be in one layer or in two layers. Okay, 100 mm of each layer or 150 mm of each layer, whatever, in two layers we will lay it. So after laying, what will happen, we will use the screeder. Okay, in basic language we can say we have JCB. Okay, in okay, the front one will have the smaller bucket and the back one will have the bigger bucket. Okay, with the help of that one, what we will do, we will lay the aggregates uniformly. Actually we will call we won't use JCB but we use the spreader, okay, to spread the aggregates uniformly. So after laying the uniform, you can see in this picture, you are laying this one. What we will do, we will take the rollers. Okay, after rolling or after compacting, what we can see some whites. Okay, whites present in the aggregate, compacted aggregate. So to fill those aggregates, what we will do, we will use the screening materials. Okay, and the screening material, it will be of size 12.5 mm to 10 mm. Okay, these are also some aggregates which are used to fill the voids present in the compacted layer. Okay, then we have the binder materials. It may be of dust. Okay, it may be a dust, gravel or morum, whatever. Okay, it should be sorry, binding material, and it may be a dust, gravel or a moron. Okay, we will use for binding one. Okay, so and the material should be such that the plasticity index value should be less than 6. Okay, plasticity pi value, it should be lesser than 6. Okay, this is how the waterborne macadam rod is constructed. I will explain the construction procedure also, but the materials required are coarse aggregate, screening, binding one, water. Okay, we will apply water and we will compact. Okay, water. These are the aggregates. The aggregate should be durable, hard, not flaky and too elongated. It should have good shapes. Screening, it is used for filling the voids and the size will vary from 12.5 mm to 10 mm. Binding materials, okay, it may be a dust, gravel or a moron. Okay, then construction procedure. Construction of waterborne macadam. See, here I will explain this construction procedure. I will explain construction procedure for waterborne macadam. The remaining is same for all other types of roads. Okay. Here we are using rolling, spreading, okay, lateral confinement, sparkling, grunting, preparation of shoulders, opening for traffics, whatever are there, it will come in each and every type of road. Okay. So here what I will do, I will explain one type of construction for a waterborne macadam. The rest will be same. Wherever it is differing, I will explain that. Okay. Suppose this is your subgrade. Okay. Or you can take it as a base course also. Suppose say there is a base course, okay, which I have filled with the gravels or moram, okay. So above which I want to lay the WBM. So what I will do, in first layer, in two layers I will apply, okay. This is a just cross section, okay. Bond macadam, motor bond macadam, above which we will have some other types of layers. It may be a wearing course, surface course, etc. Okay. So we will see the construction of waterborne macadam. The first one is preparation of foundation from receiving the WBM course. Okay. So the first thing is that this subgrade, either you are laying upon the subgrade or on the base course, whatever. We should prepare it, means it should be free from any other foreign substances, etc. like this. Okay. The first one is that preparation of foundation. Okay, preparation of foundation. In this, either subgrade or base course is prepared to required grade and camber. Okay, see here, our road cross section will be like this, because we will provide the camber. When rainfall occurs, it will uh, ejects the water from the center of the road to the side drains. Okay, it does not provide permits the water to percolate inside. Okay, it just drain of the rainwater. So to prepare this camber, we should not prepare on the topmost surface. Okay, we should prepare the camber from the bottommost surface. Why? Because if you prepare the camber, see, suppose this is the flatter one, this is also flatter one. So if you go for cambering for the top surface, okay, here the material required is more, as the bituminous is most costlier. So here, while cambering, it will take more materials, and if any other loads are also act, means it will split it, or it may form any undulation. So to counteract this one, what we will do, this is subgrade, okay, the flatter one, we are applying the base course. What we will do, we will just provide the camber here only at the bottom one, okay, while providing the GSB or what WBM, whatever, we will provide the camber at the bottom surface only. So the first one is that provide the required grade and camber. Next one, if there are any depressions or potholes, means we should fill it. Okay, potholes means gadda, okay, we should fill them. And corrugations are removed by scarifying and reshaping. If there are any undulations, or if it is the road is not flat, means with the help of the dozer, what we will do, we will flatten the, means we will scarify and reshape to the required grade and camber. Okay, the next one is lateral confinement. You can call this as sheltering also. See, if suppose this is my road, okay, you are applying the you are placing the aggregates here, it may spill outways. Okay, so to counteract that one, what we are doing, we are providing the lateral confinement, okay, such that the aggregate will placed in the this position, okay, and later we will construct the shoulders. Okay, shoulders, it may be with the help of the gravels or morum, whatever, and later it can be downward. Okay, so next we have the first one is preparation of foundation. The next one we have lateral confinement. The third one is spreading of aggregate. Spreading of coarse aggregate. So see, this is a road. What the tipper or lorry, whatever, they will come and they will dump the aggregates. Okay, here coarse aggregates here for the required grading. Either you are choosing for grade 1, grade 2, or grade 3 type, depending upon the designs and roads. So when they dump it here, so you should distribute the aggregates in uniformly. Okay, it should distribute it very uniformly. And the aggregates can be laid in either single layer or double layer. Okay, depending upon the design. Okay, either you are going for a single layer or you going for double layer. Usually in practice what they will do, they will go for single layer. Okay, because double layering it will cost them more, so the contractor people what they will do, they will go for single layers. So if it is most important one, means the thickness of the each layer should be 150 mm, that is 6 inches, and the road is not of that much importance, or it is an ordinary road and single layer, we can go for single layer, and it can be of 75 mm or it may be of 3 inches, like this. Okay, then the aggregate should be well compacted. The compaction will come here. The next one is rolling. After spreading the aggregates, the rolling should be carried out such that the aggregates are well compacted. So here what we use 3 powered roller. Okay, so we use this 3-wheeled power roller. Okay, it has a capacity of 6 to 10 tons. Okay, and it is given a equivalent vibrations. Okay, the vibration means it should not, this is the front, sorry, front wheel, this is the back 2 wheels. Okay, the vibration should be given, and just that keep in mind that the relative density after compaction it should be greater or equal to 97%. Okay, it should not be lesser than 97%. If it is lesser than 97% means the third party persons will reject it. Okay, the compaction should be done very well. And the another thing is that suppose this is your road. Okay, this is a cross section, so I will go for longitudinal section. Okay, the rolling or a compaction should be start from the corner and it should come towards the center. Okay, I will repeat, the rolling should start from the edges and it should be taken towards the center, because to maintain the proper gradient or proper cambering. Okay, this is all about the rolling. After rolling what we will do, we will apply screening, sorry. So previously I have told what is the use of screening, and it can be applied in 3 or more layers. Okay, each layer is done by dry compacting or dry rolling. See, after applying the this screening material, the dry rolling is done, and screening material is also spread uniformly. After screening, then we have sprinkling and grouting. The next one is here what we will do, we will apply the water. Okay, after the completion of the screening, the road surface is sprinkled with plenty of water and then it is rolled. Okay, water is applied and then it is rolled. The next one is binding materials. Binding materials. Here also what we will apply the binding materials like moram, gravels, etc. And then we will use the roller. Okay, and the rolling is done uniformly. The eighth one is that setting and drying. So the road surface is then allowed to cure or set overnight after final rolling. Okay. Next one, preparation of shoulders. Okay. During curing, the shoulders are prepared by filling earth to the specified cross section. Okay. Initially, I have said if this is okay, this is your waterborne macadam. Here we have provided the lateral confinement. Later, what we will do, we will provide the gravels. Okay, for the shoulders. Okay, preparation of shoulders. The last point is opening to the traffic. After drying, the road is open to the traffic. So the everything is same for each type of road construction. Only you should remember. And one thing that if you want to keep this in your mind for a permanent means once I will share the videos. Okay, for waterborne macadam, for granular subbase, for bituminous road, and for the concrete road. Okay, I will share the videos. If you see the video means it will fix in your mind for until you die. Okay, so here construction of waterborne macadam. What are the materials we require? We require coarse aggregate, screening material, binding material, and water. Okay, how the construction of waterborne macadam is done? See, the subgrade or a base course, it should be prepared well, and the grading and the cambering should be done. If there are any potholes, it should be filled with potholes, and if there are any corrugations, means it should be done reshaping. The next one is lateral confinement such that the aggregates does not spill over. Next, we have spreading of coarse aggregate. The coarse aggregate should be spread uniformly, either in single layer or double layer, depending upon the designs. Fourth one, rolling should be done with the help of the three-wheeled power roller. The rolling is done and its capacity is to 6 to 10 tons, and the rolling should be start from the edges towards the crown or the center. The next one, we have screening material. After the rolling, after compacting the coarse aggregate, what we will do, we will lay the smaller coarse aggregate of 12.5 mm to 10 mm. We will lay in three or more layers, and we will compact. It may be a dry compaction. Okay, and that to be should be compaction should be done in uniform way. Then what we will do, we will apply the water and we will go for rolling. Then we will go for the binding materials. It may be a gravel, dust, or moram, whatever. Then we will keep the road for setting and drying, preparation of the shoulders. Then we will open to the traffic. Okay, this is how the waterborne macadam road is constructed. And one more thing, in MCQs they may ask this question. See, this is the width of the road. In very first chapter I thought I have explained this one. Okay, this is the gradient 1 in n. They will give the width. Okay, they will give the gradient and they will determine the height of the crown. Okay, so the formula to determine this height of the crown, it is given by h equals to w upon 2n. 100% there will be one question on in MCQs on this one. Okay, either they will say determine the height of the crown or width of the road or the gradient of the road. Okay, suppose says that here the width of the road it is 3.8 meter. Okay, and the gradient is 1 in 40. So height of the crown it is given by 3.8 divided by 2 into 40. Therefore, it will be 0.0475 meter. Okay, just remember this formula. So otherwise, what they will do? He will give the height of the crown. In terms of he will give in terms of mm. Suppose it is 47.5 mm. Okay, and gradient will be there. He will say determine the width. Okay, just substitute, rearrange the formula. W will be given by 2nh. Okay, like this. Just remember this h equals to w upon 2n. Then we have terms used in bituminous road constructions. Okay, we have different terms. I will show along with the photos. The first one is GSB. I hope you have heard, otherwise it's okay. GSB is nothing but granular subbase. Or you can call, where it is used at this base course, or you can call it as granular subbase course also. Next one we have prime coat. Next one we have tack coat. Okay, the property of these two are same. Okay, it acts as an adhesive material. Okay, just to bind the two layers. Next one WMM, that is wet mix macadam. Fifth one cutback. Next one tar. Next one is bituminous concrete or asphalt concrete. Okay, we will see one by one. The first one is granular subbase. I will show you the pic. Okay, GSP is nothing but it is a mixture of aggregates and dusts. Okay, which is prepared in the plant. Okay, it will be prepared in the plant. Just we will buy the GSP and we will lay on the road. Okay, GSP is not. Okay, GSP it is nothing but a protective layer for the subgrade, which works as a drainage layer in a certain conditions. When all the pavement layer are cracked or damaged, at this time GSP layer drain out the water and protect the subgrade from the major losses. Okay, see this is the subgrade soil or a hard strata. Okay, above which we can go for GSB. Okay, above this we have base course, wearing course and surface course. Okay, this layer acts as a protecting layer which prevents the water, okay, coming towards the subgrade, because it has See, this is with the help of the this is made using aggregates. Okay. See, due to the capillary action, it will drain off the water, either if it is coming from the lateral direction or from the transverse direction. What it will do, it will just drain out the water coming into the subgrade soil. Due to the capillary action, what it will do, it will just drain out the water. This is nothing but the GSB. It is also having the good strength, and it is mostly used in the areas where the rainfall is more. Okay, this is the property of the GSB. Next we have prime coat. See, you can see the prime coat applying over the base course or any other type of the surface. Okay, it just act as the gum. Okay, in local language you can say it as a glue. Okay, it is an adhesive material which binds the lower layer and the upper layer. The property of the tack coat and the prime coat is same. The purpose is same. So the prime coat, it is a single coat of low viscosity bituminous binder applied to an existing untreated base of previous nature like waterborne macadam in order to promote adhesion between the base and the bituminous surface. Okay. Okay, it acts as a binder or adhesion member which act as adhesive between base course or any bituminous surface which is going to lay on this. Suppose this is our waterborne macadam or any GSB granular subbase above which I am applying the bituminous concrete, okay, or any bituminous material. So what will do, it will act as the adhesion or glue between this one and another layer which is coming upon this. Okay, the next one, tack coat. Tack coat is also same. It is also act as the adhesion between base and the bituminous surface. The function of the between the both prime coat and tack coat is same. I will show you the tack coat also. Here, tack coat, above which the bituminous concrete is going to be laid. Okay, it acts like a glue or a gum. Okay, this is the use of the tack coat and prime coat. The next one we have wet mix macadam. It is like also GSB. Okay, and this is not a damper. Okay, so it does not contain any bituminous material. Okay, here the size of the aggregates will vary from 4.75 mm to 22 mm. Okay, and it having a plasticity not less than 6%. It also pre-mixed. Okay, in the plant we can buy it from there, and we will lay it on the road. Okay, the next one, cutback and tar, which I have already explained. Okay, these are the types of the bitumen with the different grading and the different types of tars. Okay, the next one we will go for the construction of GSP, that is granular subbase. Okay, this is the subgrade above which GSP is laid either in single layer or double layer, each layer of 150 mm, above which the concrete pavement is laid, and it is suitable for the rigid pavement. Okay, granular subbase can be constructed by laying compacting well graded material on prepared subgrade. Okay, the materials which are required here is that natural sand, crushed gravels, and crushed stones. Sometimes the combination of the crushed gravels and crushed stones. Okay, how it is constructed? The initially the main step is that we should prepare the subgrade. Okay, and it should be compacted properly. Then what we will do, we will lay the subgrade. See, this our subgrade. Okay, and these two layers are GSB, granular subbase. The first thing what we should do, we should prepare the subbase. Okay, which I have explained initially. Then what we will do, we will lay the GSB. Okay, we will buy it from the plant. Okay, we will dump it on the GSB subgrade. Then what we will do, we will spread it uniformly with the help of the roller. It is compacted uniformly using 6 to 10 tons 3-wheeled power roller. Okay, this is how the GSB is constructed. Nothing more is there in this. Either you can lay it in a single layer or in double layer. This is how we will go for the GSP constructions. Then we have wet mix macadam. This is also same. Its material size also vary from 7.5 mm to 20 mm, and plasticity not less than 6%. Here what we will do, first preparation of the base, next provision for lateral confinement, next one spreading. Just remember the steps. Okay, you can write it in your own words. Spreading of the mix, the next one is compaction. Okay, so here preparation of mix. Initially what we will do, we will prepare the base course. Okay, if there are any potholes or any undulations, we will fix it, and with the proper camber and grading. Then what we will do, we will provide the lateral confinement, then the preparation of the mix according to the designs and the gradings. Then we will bring it to the site, we will lay on the base course and spread uniformly. After spreading uniformly, what we will do, we will go for the compaction. Okay, this is the construction of wet mix macadam. Next one we have okay, we are left with bituminous road and concrete road. See, we have left with only bituminous road and concrete road. Uh, if you see the videos, if you see the video means you will understand it more effectively. Shall I send the link or need to explain? Please comment in the comment section. To play the videos, my network is not that much good here. So shall I share the link or need to explain? Shall I share the link or I need to explain? What about others? Just comment. I will see. I will try to see whether it will play or not because network is not that much strong. Just I will explain here only. These this is nothing but this is the paving machine. Okay. Okay, this is the bituminous concrete. Okay. It is not clear. 1 second. Okay, one thing I will do, I will share the links. Okay, I will try to share the link. If you see both those two constructions means you will get some ideas. Okay, even that they have shown the construction of the GSBs also. Construction of GSBs also. One second. It is showing you lost the network. Am I audible? Am I audible with you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I have lost the laptop network. 1 second. Okay, do one thing. Take 10 minutes time. I will come back with the network. At 12:30, I will start the virtual labs. Okay. Before I have explained, once I have explained about the virtual labs and the experiments in it, once again I will explain, okay, what are the experiments are there and what to do in virtual labs. Okay, say so, stay tuned and be present at 12:30. Okay, until I will try to fix this network. You can rejoin at 12:30, or until that you can mute it. Okay, so take rest for 10 minutes. How many of you have not submitted your TRE practicals, term work? Let me see. Only 36 people have submitted your TRE manuals, TRE term work. Okay, now we will see about the virtual labs. Okay, how one should log into the virtual lab. Just type virtual lab. Okay, and just click the first link. Here at the bottom, you can see the different types of branches. You can select the civil engineering. Below here we have different subject, that is structural dynamics lab. Okay, hydraulics and fluid mechanics, soil mechanics, basic structural analysis, fluid mechanics, transportation engineering, environmental engineer. Okay, we have different interfaces, so we will go for the transportation engineering. Okay, just click on it. So you can just see this interface. Here we have introduction. The first one is introduction, the second one is objectives. Click on it. What is the main objective of this lab is to conduct all standardized tests to assess the quality of highway materials and pavements. Okay. Then we have list of experiments. These all experiment I have already explained you. Crushing value aggregates, impact test, Los Angeles, ductility, softening point, penetration, specific gravity, and California bearing ratio, CBR test. Okay, and these are for the UG students, means for you BE, PG students, etc. Okay, see here, what you should do is that go on list of the experiments. Okay, just select the first one. Here we can see the aim, theory, pre-test, procedure, simulations, post-test, reference, and feedback. Okay, just click on the aim. Okay, just read on the aim that to assess the strength of the course aggregate used in the pavement components under gradually applied load to determine the aggregate crushing value of a given sample of aggregate. Okay, then you have pre-test. Okay, just click, means no, don't answer like this, just read on and just submit the test. Here you will get 2 out of 5 something. Okay, how many answers are correct? The wrong answers are shown in the red colors. Okay, go for the pre-test. Then we have procedure. Okay, here either you can go for the manual, means this is like PDF one. Okay, otherwise if you want to see some animations, click on this one. Okay, This is the entire setup, and here at the right bottommost corner you have this arrow mark. Click on that one, just click it. Here it will show some animations. Click on the on, click here, it will show some that you are doing virtual. Okay, virtual like this. Just take this one, arrange the C's. Next arrange this one, then close the lid. Sorry, put the aggregates, close the lid, and place this in the mechanical shoe shaker. Close the bottom lid, the top lid, screw it on it, then arrow mark, unscrew it. Once I have explained this one, open the lid, take the weights of the respective aggregates written on the C's on it, make it 0. Take the cylinder, take the weight of it. Next, take the sample, put in 3 layers. Okay, tamping should be done. Uniform tamping is done. Then second layer. Okay, like this we have for different experiments. Then the second one we have, okay, we will go for ductility test like this. Here also we have aim, pre-test, procedure is there. Okay, either you can refer this PDF form one. Okay, or you can go for the animation one. This is the entire setup. This is the burning tool where you heat the bitumen to the melting point. Okay, pour the bitumen in the briquette mold. Here actually they have shown two, but actually there will be three molds. Keep it in the water bath. This is also water bath for room temperature. Okay, cool it for the room temperature. Okay, this is a scale. Okay, make it 0. Okay, initial reading it will be 0. What is this bar place? Okay, clear. Place it here. Apply the screws. Only one side you should fix it, another you should be free. Okay, free to move. This will be fixed to the moving end. Remove the side edges. Just answer what is there. Okay, turn on the machine. Apply the lever. Note down the initial reading. Initial reading it will be 0. At what point it will cut? See here you can see the breakage. Final reading, you have taken the final reading. Just stop it. You can see the final readings. Again go for the second trial. Okay, similarly like this. After the test you will have some post tests. Okay, just complete it. References, if you want any references, means here we have references and feedback. Okay, now what we should do is that, for me here we have 8 experiments. So what we should do, first go for first experiment. Just attend this test. Okay, when you submit, okay, it may be a 1 out of 5 or 5 out of 5, whatever, just take screenshot of it. Okay, for this pre-test. Then for post test, take screenshot. Okay, how many screenshot are there? 2 screenshots are there. Okay, and after sharing the feedback, okay, you take one more screenshot. Okay, so for each experiment you should take 3 screenshots. Each experiment 3 screenshots. Total how many experiments are there? 8 experiments are there. 8 3s are 24. So keep all those 24 screenshots with you, and shortly I will share you one link. In that you should upload the images. Okay. For for example, in the Google form there will be experiment number 1, crushing value aggregates. There I will provide 3 uploading points. Okay, where you should upload all those 3 images or screenshots. Then for second experiment you should upload 3, for fourth 3, like that, so on. Okay, so anybody having doubts in the this virtual lab, how to log in or how to use? Anybody having doubts?
No, sir.